my work day is done, and just as I was getting my boys together, these are the boys. Hey boys. Emily called me, and I could tell she was on her mobile phone, on her phone in her car, and she had it on the speakerphone thing, and she said, "Dad," I said, "Yeah." She said, "I'm on the 405 freeway, and I just went under a bridge, and I need to tell you about the sign that I saw, which was posted up in big letters, and it said, Jesus or hell." I said, "Oh yeah, okay. Well, I guess so. Jesus or hell." She says, "Yep, Jesus or hell." Okay, and then we went on to have a nice conversation about her plans for the week. She's heading down this way actually to see her boyfriend this evening, and they're going to do various and sundries, and I think she's going to stop by and visit us too, because it's almost the weekend. And then when the conversation was all done, she just before we hang up, she said, "Oh yeah. Just remember, Dad, Jesus or hell." So, okay, I'll remember. Jesus or hell. So that was interesting. It was a good week. The work week is done for me. So I'm just taking my boys out. Didn't get to do many of these vlogs this week. It was a very busy week. A lot of work. You gonna sit there for a little bit? You gonna park it? Ollie, are you gonna park it too? Let's go a little further in the grass, guys. Then I thought I'd answer a question that someone asked me. It's funny because the title of this video is Jesus or Hell, but the topic has nothing to do with that. The topic was, someone had asked me, and it was in particular, it was Ron over in Israel who asked me. He said, what's next for Yumiko and I? What's next in our lives? Because with Emily grown and out on her own, what will we do next? Which is a very interesting question and quite topical, because Yumiko and I have actually been talking about that. So I thought I'd share with you what's next. So, as you may infer if you've been, following this channel long enough, Yumiko and I never really settled down. Every half decade, a decade at most, we totally hit the reset button. Put an end to the life that we've been living and head out into another life. And we're overdue. It's been 7 years. Is it 7? 6 years. Almost 7 years since I came back to America. And our mission in coming back is certainly complete. Emily is grown. She's off in college. And we just have about 2.5 years left before she'll be completely out of college and on her own. And then we'll really be free. So probably what we need to do is focus. What you doing? What you rolling in? Come on. Well, here's the plan. We're going to stick with what we're doing and stay where we are probably for the next 2.5 years until Emily is fully out of college and on her own. And then Yumiko and I are free. Now, if life is such by that point, this is kind of nice. Let's see, which way is the best one to sit down? Isn't this nice? I like this spot here. That's a nice view right there. And the boys are settled. There's Ollie, and there's Rudy, nicely settled. Let's sit down here for a second. You want to come over here and sit with me? Okay. Hold on, let me get my little tripod out. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to use my mic. Let's see if I can plug that in. That should improve the quality. Because I just kind of turned this on all of a sudden. I've got this really nice Rode mic, this lapel mic, and I think the quality is better, but I've never tried plugging it in after I've started the video. Let's try that. I wonder if that will do the job. that makes things a little better. And let's see little Rudy's little face here. There's little Rudy. There you are, little buddy. Okay, so about 2.5 years of doing what we're doing. We've got to stick with this to get Emily through college and out on her own. And then we're basically free. And there's a couple of things we can do. If we want to, we could, move on from that point anywhere we want in our life and do anything. But we'd have to work more because we're not quite ready to retire. We'll be fully ready to retire in 6 years, assuming the world everything stays basically the same, and we can count on the pension from work and Social Security. We should be in good shape for retirement. But in 6 years, Yumiko and I will be 62 years old. We won't be old enough for the medical system here in the United States. So we're going to have to, I think what we'll do is we'll go back to Japan. And in Japan, we can enjoy the benefits of the medical system there, and while enjoying the retirement from Social Security and the pension from here. You just have that money deposited into our bank accounts, onto our bank account here, and we can it's easy to withdraw the money from over there, and it'll just keep us going. And from what we would do then is no more working. We would then go on out and just kind of do whatever. Probably go start to see the world. We're thinking about, this experience of moving to Ventura, where I work. This is the Ventura fire shirt that the fire marshal gave me. Thank you, Joe. This experience of living in Ventura, and I was working and living in the Airbnbs, was an eye-opener, really. I mean, I could live, for about $35 a night, $35, $40, in some cases under $30. I had one place I was staying at for $28 a night. It was a couch. It was called a comfy sofa. And it literally was a comfy sofa in this woman's house out by Thousand Oaks. About a 20-minute commute from Ventura. But I would go out there and literally just sleep on her couch for $28 a night. And then, various levels from there. Yumiko and I could probably easily find a place for, I don't know what prices will be in 6 years or so, but, under $50 a night maybe for the two of us if we try. And we were thinking about maybe going and exploring places. We'd like to see the USA, maybe rent a motorhome or buy a motorhome and travel around as retired people do. Another idea is to go to Europe and live in various places. For example, I've always wanted to take Yumiko, somebody from Chingaguana, Colombia. I'm sorry, I'm not saying it right. Welcome to the website. Love to take Yumiko to Amsterdam, one of my favorite cities. Bern in Switzerland. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Pardon me. And of course, London. Incredible place, London. There's down in Spain, Barcelona, places like that. Toulouse, France. So probably we'd go and have set up a home base in Japan. I've even found an apartment that we could live in that's relatively close to Yumiko's family. Good, pretty cheap, 1-bedroom apartment that we could have. And Loveback says, I want to go to Amsterdam. If you come to the UK, come to Bristol and see some circus. Oh, sounds good. Yeah, I'll be looking for, when we get to that point, we'll be looking for suggestions. The thing is, how long can you do that? Lake District in England. Oh, I've heard of that. It sounds good. The thing is, how long can you keep that up, right? I mean, my experience with leisure, a life of leisure, has been that it gets tiresome after a while. You kind of reach a point where you've had enough. There's something, even though life is hard when we're working and, raising a family and all that stuff, it seems to imbue us with a sense of purpose. That purpose being to wake up in the morning and to earn that buck and to dress our children and to feed them well and to teach them as Crosby, Stills and Nash would say, teach the children well, to take care of our little puppy dogs and all that stuff. And one of the things we have to work out is what to do with our dogs if this plan comes to fruition. So we'll see. We've got some ideas. But that does beg the bigger question. whoops, if we're able to pull that off at age 62, or Norway, oh, that place looks incredible. Yeah, Norway would be amazing. I've got somebody that I follow on YouTube. There's a guy with his dog. Some guy on YouTube. He's the Goat Lake personality. I follow him. I really like his channel. He's from Norway. He speaks really good English. But let's say we do that at age 62, and by actuarial standards, if I have another, I always perpetually like to say I have 20 summers left. I'm doing better than I was in Japan, definitely healthier than I was in Japan. In Japan, I used to say that, and I meant it, that I have 20 summers left. I feel like I could do better now. I feel like I'm healthier now than I was. But you never know. But still, that's an interesting challenge. From age 62, let's say we have another 10 years of good years, right, before we start to decline. That's still a long time. Can you really spend 10 years roaming around the world and exploring and seeing? Maybe you can, but I think that gets a little bit dull. There's got to be some purpose, some reason. Yumiko suggested, these guys, she suggested maybe we should get a ranch, not a ranch, but a little house somewhere like in Texas where we could have a big piece of land, and there's a place called the Fjord of Light near Bergen that's just magical. Ooh, it sounds nice. She was suggesting we get a house like an acre or so of land in an area that's a kill place where they kill rescue dogs like our little guys here, and we spend our lives rescuing dogs, and then get like a motorhome and drive around and try to find homes for the dogs, which seems very, very nice. Another thing that I thought about doing was pursuing, the mission of going alone, right? Of helping people. This sounds like a dream. Yeah, doesn't that sound nice, Love Mac? The mission of going alone is basically very simple. So when people like my daughter see a sign like, Jesus or hell, that there's a third option, which is Jesus or hell, or just make a meaningful life and be the best person you can in the time that you've got before you die and disappear utterly unto nothing, right? Agreed. Bristol is definitely worth a visit. Nice. And I would like to do that. That's what I would like to do. Is my personal mission is to further that aim. Oh, by the way, Emily made an incredible, that she knocked it out of the park picture yesterday. I haven't shared it here or anywhere yet, but she created an incredible image for the book. She's just doing so well. She made another one today. She's just on a roll. She's making like 2 images a week now for me. One for every chapter. I like that. But I really want to be doing something that connects me with my wife. So is Amsterdam, a mental place. I really like Amsterdam. I used to work in a town called a castle town called Naarden, probably about 30 minutes outside of Amsterdam. One of those fortress towns. It was a star fortress, in the shape of a star with a moat around it. Really neat place. But I want to do stuff with Yumiko. One of the things that I found was that after Emily was born, that I wouldn't say that it put a wedge between us, but it sent us in 2 different directions, right? Yumiko being, a traditional Japanese woman, her role basically was, to be Emily's mom, right? Self-imposed, but through her society, that's kind of what she did. She did a good job, very good job of it. She raised a daughter that can see the option of Jesus or hell, and think of options otherwise, right? And she raised a good human being, but that's pretty much past. And for me, especially living in Japan, I did my best to try to adopt the typical man's role of provider and taking care of the family and all that kind of stuff. But now that Emily's out of the house, Yumiko and I are finding one another again. Because we were together a long time before Emily showed up. I mean, we met when we were 24, and Emily was born when we were both, Yumiko and I were both 24 when we met in college. Emily was born when we were 35. Is that right? 35, 45, 55. We were 36. So Yumiko and I were together 11 years before Emily came around. Jordan says, hi, Kurt, and then hi, Jaden. I don't have my glasses on. And Wolfgang? No, my glasses. You've done a brilliant job. She has great things ahead of her. Thank you. Thank you very much, Jaden. It's been a while. Where are my glasses after all? After I get myself all lounging here. Oh, here they are. So we were together, what was that, 11 years before Emily showed up? That's a long time. And we had a lot of fun. And we did a lot of things. We spent half that time in Japan and half that time in America, making a life for herself. Then Emily came and kind of like distracted us away. It was like, all hands on deck on the submarine, the red lights flashing, the kid is coming, man the battle stations, My mom was also 36 when I was born. Emily is so wonderful. Oh, that's wonderful, Love Mac. So man the battle stations. And then for the last 20 years, we've been manning the battle stations. I've been at the battle station of provider. Yumiko's been at the battle station of homemaker, with a little bit of mixture of both. It's been fun watching you grow as a family. I remember when Emily was just a young girl speaking Japanese. Yeah. Thank you. And now Emily's gone, and for about, it's so funny. We were laughing. Yumiko and I were traumatized, literally, utterly traumatized the day that Emily left. For about 12 hours. Yumiko described, she's so upfront. She said we basically had empty nest syndrome for half a day. And then we kind of like snapped out of it together and like, let's go have ice cream. Any kind of ice cream we want. And then let's go have dinner. We realized we didn't have to worry about going to a restaurant that Emily liked or we could have anything we wanted. And we started doing stuff, just the two of us. Now it turns out that, Emily's back, half of the time on the weekends, half the time she's up there, half the time she's down here. So we still see her a lot and we do a lot with her. But it's a lot of fun when it's just the two of us. So I think that's a good sign. That means Yumiko and I can find one another. Haha, that is funny. Watching your child move out must be hard at first. It is, yeah. But it's also neat to see them on their own. It's, what's hardest is when she leaves on Sunday night, she'll come down and still stay for Saturday night and go out and hang out with us on Sunday. Or like Friday night and stay till Saturday and leave. It's hard when she leaves at night because I worry about her driving home. Because I know I have to go to bed at like 9 o'clock and I won't be able to get the message that she got there safely. But she always messages her mother. But so Yumiko and I have found one another, so to speak. That's worked out. So that's a good sign. What a cute doggy. Yes, he is a cutie. This is Rudy. He's a good boy. And so I'll save that for another video. I was going to tell you about how what are my some plans getting these guys to Japan if we need to, but I'll save that for another video. You want to hold your paw? So what do you do for 10 or 20 years after you no longer have to work? I think you can travel for a while, but I think that gets old after a while. So we need some mission, right? And that mission will be. First video of yours I watched was the one where Emily was hobbling around in a pair of Geta. She must have been around 5 years old. Yeah, that was in front of her grandparents' house. What a pretty pupper. Softypapa. Hey, Andy-san. Andy, speaking of which, decided the right channel, about the channel merge. Probably not going to do it. Probably just going to continue. I'm probably not going to bring the abandoned Japan stuff over. Andy, I wanted to tell you how impressed I am with what you've done. Those of you who don't know, Andy-san was a viewer who became a J-vlogger who went back to the United States after his time in the Navy. I hope you don't mind me talking about you, Andy. His time in the Navy was done. And then he decided, well, gosh darn it, I had a lot of fun in Japan and I'm going to go back and do that again. And he found his way back. And I really wanted to compliment you on that, Andy. Yeah, it is cool. I can't tell you how many, I'm not exaggerating. I'm sure it's well over 100 people that have contacted me in what has it been since 2006, 10, 11, what is that, 14, 15 years on YouTube. So many young people, especially when I was in Japan, young people, contacted me saying they have a dream of Japan. I can probably count on one hand the number of people that actually followed through and did it and found their way back. And you did it twice, and you're back, and you're doing it. And you're making content, and you're living your life, and you're taking on the challenges, and you're not making any excuses. And I know it's not easy. But I have a great deal of respect for what you've done. Almost 15 on years on YouTube for you too. For you, I started in 2006 and made content since 2008. That's awesome. So I wanted to just compliment you on that, Andy. I know that it's been a long journey for you, and it'd be interesting. I follow your channel. I don't really follow anybody's channel anymore, but when somebody's video flows through, mostly I watch debates all day. You know, I like to watch. Like I'm watching right now a debate, really a discussion on the way over between Lawrence Krauss and Noam Chomsky on variety of topics. I just love that kind of stuff, you know. Anyway, but when your stuff comes up, I always like to watch it. Your production value is great. I mean, of course, I have crap. I have no production value. So, but you're very good, and you just keep on going at it. I've never made content, Jaden says, but I'd love to start. But I've been watching you for other YouTubers for about almost 10 years. Give it a try, Jaden. You might like it. You might find it to be fun. So anyway, yes, be glad that Jesus Christ made a way for us hell-deserving sinners. That was sure nice of him, wasn't it? Gordon, I was just reading Gordon's comment there. So that was the thing. So what in the world? Oh, there's a World War II airplane flying overhead. Can you hear it? Right above that building. The other day, a B something bomber went over, a World War II bomber with like 2 escort fighters on either wing, and it flew over. It made such a racket. Emily was home. Emily was visiting, and she came out. I peeked out the window. And saw them go overhead. It was just something out of World War II, right? Just the big giant bomber with the 2 escorts. And Emily comes, what the hell was that? And I said it was 1943, Colin, or 1944, Colin, Petey. There's a historic air base over here. And he says, thanks so much, Kurt. It was you who inspired me to make videos back when I was in Ohio to prepare me for making videos in Japan. Really? Thank you. I'm glad to hear that, Andy. I'm glad to hear I inspired you in some way. And John says, is that Jesus in the plane? He's coming to get you, Kurt. Yeah, maybe he is on. He's coming to get me. Trigonometry says is a good channel for long form interviews. Really, no kidding. Trigonometry. Okay, thank you. How is your Japanese? Are you still able to speak it well? No, I don't speak it very well. So when I told Yumiko, if we go back, and I never spoke it very well. You know, I have so much respect for those that can do that. You know, people like, of course, like Victor and Mully and Tikio Sam and others that just embrace it and just go for it. I mean, huge kudos. Stupid joke. Sorry, which one was the stupid joke? Is it Jesus? That's not a stupid joke. I think it's funny. I mean, of course, it's blasphemy. I mean, you're going to be in hell. I'll see you in hell for that. You'll be there with me too. But who was it said? Was it Mark Twain who said, you know, heaven for the climate, hell for the company. So I'll see you there. Handy-san says, you left a comment or a message, I believe, that said I should show off my hometown since you've never seen it before and it might be interesting for others. That was you? I remember that, Andy. I remember that. I didn't realize that was you. And then you did. And didn't you like ride your bicycle or something like all the way across your town or something? Or you showed something? Isn't that it? That was you? I was so impressed that you did that. Would Jesus need a parachute? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I'll have to ask Emily. That's right. You ride on your bicycle like all the way across your town. And I was so impressed that you did that. Kurt, how far is Siberia from you? 200 miles. Siberia, California, that is. Gordon says, yes, be grateful that Jesus Christ made a way out for hell-deserving sinners. Of us for hell-deserving sinners. That was very nice of Jesus to do that, Gordon. So we are in. So that's all I wanted to talk about was our plan next, which I think the easy part is going to be. The easy part is going to be starting. The hard part is going to be continuing, finding purpose and meaning in life. Right after that, there was a bike trail connecting my town to the neighboring town, and I rode my bike down it. I remember that you rode your bike. I watched the whole thing through. I was so impressed that you did that. Is that video still up? He did well just to get out of that tomb. Just to get out of that. Oh, okay. Lomberto says just to get out of, would Jesus, to get out of, would he need a parachute to get out of the tomb? It's still up. All right, must be one of the first videos on your channel, huh? And so everybody go check out Andy-san, Andy Japandi, AKA. I like that name, Andy. Okay, well, I'll leave it at that, and I didn't mean to be rude or discourteous to those of my friends who are believers. I just wanted to share that I thought it was interesting that Emily would think, thank you, Jaden, I'm glad you enjoyed hanging out. I just thought it was interesting that Emily, because frankly, Emily and I rarely ever now, or rarely ever in the past, ever talk about religion. I kind of made it a point growing up to make religion just kind of a non-issue. So, I mean, she's aware of my views. You know, she knows that I basically don't believe, and well, basically I just don't. And so it's interesting that I just found that interesting that she would call me up just to tell me it's Jesus or hell, Dad. There you go. Okay, thanks again, Kurt. I got to head out too. Hope to see you again soon. You too, Andy. Glad to talk to you. I'll drop by your next live if I catch. Also, I miss your hat in your thumbnails. Yeah, the hat's somewhere. It's someday I'll make a video about how I almost threw it away at Narita Airport when I left Japan. Glad I was awake. It was late in the UK. Maybe someday I'll see you over there. Love Mac will give us tips when we come. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Be safe. Make it a good life. Be safe, but not too safe. Right, Rudy and Ollie. Yeah, he's got his little hip hop. Nope. Okay. Bye bye.